Let's get to some names that Herc wants to see on the call-up list under Anthony Hudson, who's going to be taking over the team in the interim. Herc, who do you want to see called up on Wednesday for these games, which are next Wednesday and then next weekend?
I will add I hate January camps, and producer Beto's going to...
Why do you hate January camps?
Well, producer Beto's going to allow me the forum when we get closer to January camp to explain why I hate January camp. But let me get on the names I want to see.
You hate everything.
Why not?
Old man yelling at clouds.
All right, first up, John Tolkin. Come on down. 20 years old, New York Red Bulls, left back. I will add, he is a left back. Why is that important, Seb? Why is a left back important? Can you tell me? No?
Because you need people there. You need bodies. You don't trust Anthony Robinson.
That's exactly right. You don't have an Anthony Robinson. He's 20 years old, 2 straight seasons where he's a very good contributor for the New York Red Bulls. He's got big clubs around him, Anderlecht in Belgium, obviously the sister team, the Red Bull teams in Europe. This is a player that I can come in, compete, and could potentially be a player for the future. But it's just you don't have those bodies. He's got a very good left foot. Oh, by the way, our good friends at the CIES Football Observatory have just named him the most promising left back in the world at the U22 or U21 level. I don't know who they are, but
wow. I like it, but we're going to quote him here on Futbol Americas.
But we're going to quote him here on Futbol Americas, and it really is about Anthony Robinson and the lack of depth at the left back position.
So let me tell you this real quick. When we did our special, our depth chart looking ahead to 2026, the one bit of feedback that was the most consistent in terms of players left out, John Tolkin. I got a lot of that on social media. People really wanted to see him in that list for 2026.
Best hairdo in Major League Soccer. If you know, you know.
All right, so who else you want to see in this list on Wednesday?
Oh, man. We interviewed him in MLS Media Day. Jack McGlynn, I very much enjoyed interviewing this kid. U20 prospect from the Philly Union. Should be of no surprise that we got a Philly Union player here. It's a big cycle. I won't even say year. It's a big cycle for my man Jack McGlynn. Jack McGlynn, who certainly will want people to not remember him from MLS Cup. Can't wait for our interview with him. He speaks about that. But he's another left footer. Good on set pieces, very calm, cerebral in the midfield, and he's going to have a U20. He's going to have the U23 tournament that you very much enjoy, which is the Olympics.
Yep.
And he will be vying in a very crowded midfield for what is the 2026 World Cup pool. But this is a player right now that I'm very interested in seeing how he bounces back from that MLS Cup. And I think at January camp, seeing how he does with his peers and maybe players that are just above that level, how he integrates with them will be crucial.
Herc, confident.
Very confident.
That was my big takeaway from Jack. Not arrogant, not cocky, but confident. That was my big takeaway from our time with Jack McGlynn at MLS Media Day last week. All right, we got time for one more, I think. One more from Herc's wish list. Who you got?
Diego Luna! Speaking of dual nats, can I get Rio Grande's finest, the prodigy from USL himself, the teenager? You said it when we interviewed Lucas Celarayan. The number 10 position is a dying position. It's a dying breed. Here we go. We got a teenager who's a 10, who's good on the ball. He's shifty. He's creative. He unlocks defenses in that final third. And RSL right now, not playing too much, but I think this is a kid who's of value. If anything, to prove to Sebi that the number 10 position isn't dying and you could still see some value there. But I'm interested to see how he does at that next level. And more than anything, this continued battle with these dual nats, this is an interesting prospect for me.
Diego Luna, of course, the pride of El Paso in the USL. You went very young here. These are like all U20s. What happened to the Jeremy Abobases of the world, the guys that have earned it in Major League Soccer play? Right. The Julian Gressel, a new citizen, is reported he's going to be in camp, just called up.
The DC guy, man. Is that why you're naming him? The DC guy? No, I like
Steve
Gressel.
Goff reporting that Julian Gressel, who's no longer with DC. No longer with DC.
You're right, he's in Canada, I know. Gressel's a very good player.
Yeah.
Very good. But why am I going with these 3 players? Because January camp is now not a reward for what you do in Major League Soccer.
Okay.
It has to be more nuanced, and I think the fan knows this. It's of no good to you to reward players that are probably 4th, 5th in that depth chart. You need to unearth players that could potentially do something for you down the road. And this is why you're going younger. This is why I'm going younger. I know what the Julian Gressels of the world can give me. Now listen, he could have a very good career and potentially get himself onto that roster, that is great. But you need to see what these players can do, because I named John Tolkin. John Tolkin might leave this season. He could be in Europe next season. Same thing with McGlynn, same thing with Diego Luna. You need to look at the future.
Play the kids. That's what Herculez Gomez wants to see.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week, subscribe to ESPN+.